Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my colleague, Forbes senior editor, Dan Alexander. Dan, thanks so much for coming back on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Brittany.
You have some deep reporting about President Trump and his financial ties to Saudi Arabia, which you found date back to the 80s. And he was actually asked about this during a White House moment when he had a meeting with Saudi Arabia's crown prince. And a reporter asked the president point blank if it is, quote, inappropriate for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president. Is that a conflict of interest? And it seemed like President Trump really took offense to this question. He had a really testy response, and I want to read that in part. He said this: I have nothing to do with the family business. Then he added, quote, what my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot, and anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. Based on your reporting, is what President Trump's saying true here when it comes to his involvement in his family's business dealings, as well as his family's business dealings with Saudi Arabia?
Absolutely not true. Donald Trump is very involved in his business in that he still owns it. If you own it, you're involved in it, okay? It still matters to you. You're still a part of it. If you look at the entities through which Donald Trump holds his assets, which he discloses on federal filings, in most of them, he still owns 100% of these entities, and his family does not own any of them. There are a couple of deals in which his family has a small sliver, 20%, and he still owns 80%. If you look at those documents, these two things can't be true. Either he's filing false documents saying that he owns these assets, or he's lying when he says that he has nothing to do with this business. I tend to believe the documents, not what he says in the Oval Office.
And so we're believing the documents here. How much has him as well as his family benefited from their financial ties with Saudi Arabia?
Well, if you look in 2024, there's one partnership that's been really critical for them for expanding their global real estate licensing business. That's with a company called DAR Global, which is based in Saudi Arabia. DAR Global in 2024 paid Donald Trump about $21 million. And they've announced many deals since then. So it wouldn't be surprising if they pay him that much or even more this year. And there are indications that there are still more deals coming down the line. We're already now at 7. It wouldn't surprise me if we ultimately get up to 10, 15 deals with this Saudi company. That's just the real estate licensing business. You also have the golf business. So Live Golf, which is a Saudi-backed competitor to the PGA Tour, really brought professional golf back to Donald Trump's courses. After January 6th, the PGA Tour and the Royal and Ancient, which oversees the British Open, both submitted statements sort of distancing themselves from Trump, saying that they weren't doing any events at his courses, at least not in the foreseeable future. Live Golf, however, comes onto the scene right as those two are out and says, hey, we're looking for golf courses that are nice that we can send a bunch of pros to. And they do a series of events at Trump's courses, bringing big names to his courses, which sort of gives him the prestige. Not a ton of money. It adds up to about $6 million by our estimates, but the prestige of having big names, big golfers at his courses.